creatures, as beings, we spend our lives hoping that as pattern-finding primates, we will identify some explanation for who we are and what we should do. And the existentialists referred to this as existential angst. You have anxiety about doing the wrong thing because you don't have enough facts and you don't have enough objective awareness and that kind of thing. I think they should have shaved off the silly beards and spent more time with girls, and they would have then had existential joy. And then there are people who are the bards of the modern age. And hundreds of years ago, you'd have been sitting with a lute or a flute to add musical atmosphere. It's interesting that since the beginning of theatre, which was originally sacred in ancient Greece, music was used to shape the emotions of the audience. And now we know that for whatever reason that we can't yet fathom, when you hear something, it sidesteps your critical faculties in a way that things you see don't. And that's why when the music goes dun dun dun, you get that tension, that anxiety, or when it's all happy and euphoric, you feel the way the music instructs you to, and unless you're a psychopath or a robot, there's nothing you can do about it. So now you know that with film, you have at your disposal a medium that is more than just a lute with a story being told. You've got every sense, really, and you're using reality itself as the medium. For me, what makes film, and by film I mean anything that we would call a moving image, so motion graphics, animation, video, whatever you want, stop motion. What makes it magical is that, well, it's this, that the part of your brain that has experiences does not differentiate between an experience you're having now, something you remember, something you imagine, or something that you dream. It doesn't differentiate, which means that if you make a film where the lead character is somebody that your audience is able to empathize with, so they say, you know, if you've got a hero who's a bad guy, don't make them too bad. You've got to feel like you want to spend time with them. If your audience can empathize with your main protagonist, they don't witness the protagonist's experiences. They literally have them with them. That is an incredibly powerful tool at your disposal as a storyteller. You, as a storyteller, using film as a medium, and again, when I say film now, I mean reality itself as a medium, have the power to define why for everything. Why are they wearing those clothes? Why did they say those words? Why did they react that way? Why was the gun missing the bullets? Why was that person happy? So why is ultimately the critical question for any director, any storyteller, any writer. And I'm afraid it is your job. So if anybody ever says to you, why is this thing this way in the story, you don't get to say, I don't know. As a screenwriter, I'm an award-winning screenwriter, award-winning director, but most of the films I made were absolutely awful. And by the way, making terrible films is a fantastic way to learn how to make films, because when you get to the cutting room, you realize it absolutely makes no sense. Next time, what happens is, after a while, you get a kind of spidey sense on set. You'll be on location, and something will say, I got a feeling that someone's aiming a gun at me from this, or there's, that continuity isn't going to work. It's not going to cut together. It's experience that brings wisdom, sadly not age. And when everyone's rolling and the camera's set, you get that magic moment where the DP or whoever it is, somebody will turn to you on set and say, set. And then you just wait. There's a moment before a storm where the wind stops. You're at the center of that low pressure dip. The wind stops completely. The birds stop singing. There's absolute quiet. And that is a state of pure potential. And that is the state that you want on set when you're filming. Most directors, we have this hubris, we have this belief that we could get an incredible award-winning performance from a brick if we had to. Give me enough time and we'll work it out. But one of the things that's extremely difficult to do that with is to get the actors to be present, to get them to be here now. in this moment with you. And so when you are conducting screen tests, casting calls for your work, you really want to make sure that they are there with you before you do anything else. And you can tell by the time they sit down. But if you give them direction and they don't take it, you might as well say goodbye, because they could be an incredible actor and they could be great at working with another director. They just can't work with you. So save yourself the pain. Now, where drama comes, where the development of characters comes, is in the disparity between the need, which is always good, by the way. Nobody makes a bad decision on purpose. Your characters will always have reasons that are good, solid reasons for everything they do. There's a disparity between reasons and solutions. You want to make sure that you give them the direction with the emotion that you want them to feel. Which means you have to be an actor too. You need to step into that dialogue either with whether it's anger or happiness or joy, sadness, love. Speak in that way, because you'll be, I can't describe it, you'll be encoding it, you'll be impressing upon them the feeling. Because of mirror neurons, they'll watch you feeling it and it'll help them to understand. Remember, your job as a filmmaker is not to accurately portray what occurred. Your job is to create an experience for the audience. And those are not the same thing. I believe in naturalistic filmmaking, which is about the authenticity of the emotional journey, rather than cinema verite, which is a thing, and that's valid, and it's just not my thing, it's just not my bag. You're going to come up against endless technical challenges. They are as inevitable as alarm clocks. If you have to choose between good pictures and good sound, always choose good sound. Audiences are much less tolerant of sound problems than visual problems. They say that if you make a film that has bad visuals, or good visuals and bad sound, they'll say that was a great student film. And if you make a film with bad visuals and good sound, they'll say that was a very interesting experimental film. As a director, your job is to create the space. You are the person whose feelings will most influence the feelings of everybody else on set. Doesn't matter what you're working on. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO of a company, the producer of a documentary, or the director of a fiction film. How you feel will shape the feelings of everybody in your environment.